This is the biggest update to the Ghost line in the last 3 to 4 years. Yes, it's always been the most purchased and most popular shoe from Brooks, but does this update live up to all the hype of its predecessors, or does it fall flat? It's time to run in the Brooks Ghost 16. Hey guys, my name is Joel. Welcome back to the Time to Run channel, where I do most of the research so you don't have to do it all on your own. It's time to run in a brand new pair of shoes. But before I start this review, I just want to let you know I have other shoe reviews for not only more Brooks shoes, but also other brands such as Asics, Nike, Adidas, Kraft, Puma, New Balance, and Solomon. You can expect I'll be adding Hoka here shortly as well, specifically the Skyward X, which I'm currently upwards of 25 miles, and the Mach 6, as well as the Speedgoat 6. Once those shoes have arrived and I'll be able to add miles to them, I'm going to get those reviews out too. Just know as well, I have many other playlists such as most watched reviews, Brooks shoe reviews, so on and so forth. I've even done running apparel and accessory reviews as well. So if you like what you see from this review, please consider subscribing. Turn the bell icon on. I promise it won't pester you that much, and be sure you check out more videos from the channel. Thanks so much. I just need to go over a couple disclosures first. I was kindly sent this pair of shoes from Brooks for the purpose of review. They're not paying me to make this video. These opinions and observations are my own, and no one gets to preview or provide feedback prior to me posting this video here. If you like any of the products seen in the video, whether it's shoes I'm reviewing, apparel, you can see in the video, camera, tech, and even nutrition, I provided Amazon affiliate links in the description box below. So if you like anything you see in this video, be sure you check out the links below. Using my link doesn't add any additional cost to you. You're essentially helping to support me with the purchase you've made. Then Amazon sends me a cut of the seller's profit. Now back to the review.
All right, let's go ahead and start covering the specs of the shoe. Now, this is a US men's size 12. The forefoot is 24 millimeters and the heel is 36 millimeters. So this is a neutral daily trainer, unlike the Adrenaline GTS 23. That one has stability, this one does not. And for the weight of my US men's size 12, it's 305 grams or 10.8 ounces. All right, let's go ahead and head back to the studio and talk more about the details and experience running in the shoe.
All right, let's go ahead and cover the upper. You know I love a good breathable and comfortable mesh upper. And during the warmer months, it's especially important. This is Brooks engineered air mesh technology, breathable, flexible, all the way around the toes. It continues to wrap around the rest of the shoe, making its way around the heel. The mesh portion also allows your toes enough freedom to move around, but not too much allowance for internal foot movement. A really great upper all around. So as far as the sizing, I had zero issues with these shoes regarding the sizing in my typical US men's size 12 in the regular width. It worked perfectly for my feet. I think there's plenty of room in the toe box for my feet to splay. Now compared to the Hyperion Max, another frame of reference is comparing them to those shoes. Without getting too much into the weeds, I would say the Hyperion Max, while snug on its own, is still very comfortable and a joy to run in. It's certainly comfortable enough to put in high mileage for sure. You can check out the review for that up here in the corner. Now I've recently reached 200 miles in the Hyperion Max, and I'll be putting out a 200-mile review for those. So be sure you're subscribed so you get notified when I put out that review as well. The point of comparing it to the Hyperion Max is just to say, unlike the Hyperion Max that feels more snug around the midfoot and the toes, from my perspective, the Ghost 16 isn't a shoe that will crowd your feet out. And I do recommend getting this in your standard shoe size, as I did. Now that we've covered the fit, let's dive into the colorway or the cosmetic appearance of the shoe. This colorway is called White Illusion Coral, and I really love the bright orange and lava red accents here. It adds a nice pop of color to what would be a relatively boring black and white shoe. I'm glad that summer is upon us, because if the rain and snowy months were approaching, this shoe would certainly be in for some discoloration for sure. And before I move on to the overlays, if you're finding this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's super helpful when you let me know how much you appreciate the content I'm putting out by doing so. Thanks so much. All right, so we have some really nice overlays visible on the Ghost 16. These are technically called 3D fit print, that gives some extra structure and strength to the shoes. Along the lateral part of the shoe, we have the Brooks logo with a texture that resembles almost an embossed leopard pattern along this section. Around the hind foot and around the heel, we have this very bright, almost orange-ish pink counter that makes sure your heels stay locked in place. And from this spot, we can see there are some reflective accents. And around the lacing channels, more overlays to ensure the eyelets have some strength built in. This is a great look to the shoe overall. The tongue is padded, but not too much. The materials are soft and forgiving. I think it sticks to what the Ghost has always done well in the past. Like many past iterations of both the Ghost and the Adrenalines, these still have a gusset, super helpful in preventing the tongue from sliding around and folding up in weird areas that would otherwise cause unnecessary distractions, discomfort, or bunching up in weird places while out on your runs. The insole is removable for orthotics, however, it's still a relatively comfortable shoe for sure. If you need something different though, it's super easy to swap out. So the lacing system is pretty standard here, nothing complicated. Laces are actually nice and thin to my liking. I like longer laces myself so I can get in a double knot, but they definitely get the job done. Great lockdown, no internal foot movement. So if you've been running in Brooks shoes for long, you'll know that Brooks has their own version of nitro foam. This one is called the Brooks DNA Loft foam. It's a slightly softer run experience overall from version 2, as I recall, but overall I wouldn't say it's really overly cushioned. It's slightly stiff underfoot, if I'm being totally honest. Now, unlike the Adrenaline, which is the stability version of this shoe, link up here in the corner for that review. This is a neutral shoe, meaning there's no stability additions meant to assist overpronators. In other words, rolling your feet inward, or supinators, which is excessive amount outward, rolling outward during your stride. And in case you're wondering if you supinate because you have a tendency to roll outward just a little bit, just know it's normal for someone who's a neutral runner to have a slight outward roll. Either shoes can be run in, but I prefer running in a more neutral rather than stability type shoe. So the Ghost definitely fits that bill for me. Overall, the midsole cushioning is really great for daily miles for sure, and it's not too squishy that it would fall into the recovery run category. Next, let's cover the outsole. I love the sticky rubber they use on the bottom of this outsole, known as Road Tech rubber. This features their Omega Flex grooves for dynamic flexibility. Meanwhile, the segmented crash pads in the back make for a durable and impact-absorbing experience to really give a comfortable ride overall from landing to toe-off. It's made of a very durable mix of rubber and recycled compounds. And yes, of course, just like in true Seattle form, Brooks gives rain-based runners confidence regarding their traction needs for those autumn through spring months. This is a great outsole overall, and I do expect it's going to give you many, many, many miles because it's a really durable outsole overall. So how did it feel like running in the Ghost 16? Regarding the experience, the first run I had some unusual hot spots that initially concerned me for sure, and I'll talk more about how those were resolved later, as well as some more stiff midsole feeling underfoot. I'd say this is one shoe that for the price point requires me to actually break these in just a little bit from 10 to 20 miles. The contrarian in me would argue though, if you're already used to this style midsole foam or that of a similar durometer reading, you'll likely not even notice a difference. In fact, it might be a little squishier or more comfortable for you. And just kind of resolving that initial thought, after the third run, everything worked itself out. I chalked it up to me simply being more used to a thicker slab of DNA Loft foam underfoot, as in what I run in the Ghost Max. Link up here in the corner. But other than that, the first few runs, I have to say, I get the same tried and true feeling I've experienced in the Ghost and Adrenalines underfoot in the past. So take that for what it's worth. Enough cushioning underfoot to give me an enjoyable run experience overall, and at the same time there's just enough stiffness underfoot to keep you nimble and agile. The DNA Loft version 3 foam was comfortable to churn through those daily miles, keeping things comfortable throughout all my runs, throughout my gait cycle from landing to toe off. So what's their rotation potential? As Brooks intended, I believe this fits firmly in the daily trainer categories. Yes, it has the ability to be versatile, but the long and short of it, daily miles is what this shoe is meant to tackle and what it does best. I've been easily able to push these into low 6-minute mile paces due to the midsole packing a little bit more of a punch, so take that for what it's worth. So intervals wouldn't be out of the question, but probably going to be more like strides. I didn't like these for tempo sessions. The rocker in the midsole to the forefoot would need to be reworked in my opinion for that to be an option. Now as far as what the Ghost pairs well with, at least staying within the Brooks family, I recommend for tempo sessions and speedier days, the Brooks Hyperion Max. Then for recovery days, you do really well with the Brooks Ghost Max. And I've left links for my previous shoe reviews for the Hyperion Max and the Ghost Max in the description box below for you. Now let's cover my final thoughts. Again, I think the update to the Ghost 16 sticks to what the Ghost line does best. It's a tried and true daily trainer for those looking for a more classic feel underfoot without being too mushy. Being one of Brooks' flagship daily trainers, it appeals to both beginning runners as well as tenured runners alike. It even makes for a great walking shoe if that's more of your preference for exercise. The Ghost 16 takes the top spot of the best-selling shoes in the Brooks rotation. The Ghost 16 is also the top picks on Amazon when you go looking for shoes there, as it has been for quite a while now. According to the masters who love this shoe, it lives up to the hype for the Ghost line itself. And I can't help but agree. I have many more Brooks specific shoe reviews in a playlist on my YouTube channel, so if you're a Brooks enthusiast, check out the playlist above up here. And be sure you save it for the future. Other playlists are available on the channel as well. Just a question for you, what's your favorite daily trainer lately? Have you run in previous iterations of the Ghosts? Let me know in the comments below and tell me what your thoughts are of this shoe. So this concludes my review of the Brooks Ghost 16. I hope you found the video helpful. Be sure you click the like button if you did, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future content from the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and if anyone asks you what your favorite running YouTube channel is, just tell them it's time to run.